I don't talk much about myself, at least not about the more personal things. I wish someone would ask sometimes, but I don't know if I could be honest anyways. I don't know if anyone has ever wanted to ask me, but I have a story I do want to tell. I had made a friend not too long ago. She was nice. We chatted deep into every night over some common interests, and when we were tired, we would sleep. It was nice to have someone to talk to have someone that wanted to understand me and didn't expect anything more. One night she asked me, for no apparent reason, if I was okay. She could have been making sure, she could have just picked up on it. I don't know, but she asked. There was a moment where I genuinely considered lying, writing it off as a little joke. I wanted to tell her that I was okay, and maybe some part of me wholeheartedly believed that. But I knew she deserved the truth. I stared at her message for a while, considering the best way to be honest. It's silly, as if anything could be more honest than the outright truth. After that moment, I admitted that I wasn't okay, and strangely, she immediately invited me to watch a sunset with her. It was confusing. What exactly did that mean? I wasn't sure what she saw in me, but she saw someone that I wasn't sure could be loved. Despite my doubts, I agreed, and we walked beside each other. We sat there too, and we looked out onto the sunset, and we agreed. It was the most beautiful thing we'd ever seen. At the same thought, we shared a glance. It wasn't much, but I almost felt like in that split second, I had fallen in love. We left the night alone, and we sat in her car talking about whatever thoughts came to mind. It was so freeing. It was fun, and it was so stupid, and yet I wished for nothing more. We'd hang out a few more times until I'd leave for a vacation to the beach, and she would leave too. We talked over the phone, sparing every minute for each other, and then suddenly, she was gone. A thought unfinished, a story untold. I still saw her around at school, at events, but she was so much farther. I'd lost something, or I'd lost everything? It wasn't a lifelong relationship that came to an end. It was waking up from a dream. That feeling of trying to remember what it was about before it's completely gone. I fell in deeper and deeper, and she fell in and out just as quick. She left me with a burning question. Why? Why did this happen? Why did she leave and go back to treating me like wallpaper? That moment where she said goodbye was the last moment I'd ever felt something that strong for someone in so long. I find it more and more difficult to escape the opposite feeling that I left my last chance at something real behind me. That I'd either given up too early or it came too soon for me. That I needed to learn something before she came, and still she came. And she left just as beautiful. It's been 4 months since I last spoke to her. For a while after we stopped talking, things kept swimming around in my head. I had so many thoughts about me and the world and my place in it. I felt so small and so big at the same time. I was confused and I could never keep a thought straight. I was so frustrated with myself. I couldn't figure anything out, but at the same time, I was just sad. I never felt like I had a good reason to feel this way, but then I began writing paragraphs of these feelings, revising them and turning them into something I felt was accurately putting my ideas on paper. I wasn't journaling, though. I was crafting entire stories. I looked back at the things I'd written and I was almost impressed with myself. It wasn't the thoughts themselves, those were stupid, but it was the fact that I'd enjoyed documenting every little detail of my mind its current state. It was a reflection of something spiritual. I found something I enjoyed. I found something I could really try to be good at. I watched videos on how to tell a story, how to build a world, how to express myself in words, and I finally found something that could house my imagination. My own mind couldn't handle it. I would write my own narratives onto people around me, jokes I didn't tell, lives I'll never live. But now I can live them. I can make anything, and it won't hurt me. I'd even forgotten all about that girl until recently. Spending time with that girl felt like a story. I didn't know it at the time, but I saw everything in her eyes. I saw a glimmer of something I couldn't hold, and it fell onto a page. The story I made in my mind is not the story she made in hers. Mine is everything to me. It gives me hope that someone else will pick up where she left off. It's a story that can exist on its own. It only needs a pen and paper to survive. She was the first story I ever wrote, and from it I learned that the world doesn't dictate what I am. It's the stories I choose to tell that define what I am. I found ambition in my grief, and in that ambition I found purpose. I don't need somebody to tell me I'm worth something. There's ink that says more than that.